morning mga katribu. Welcome to another episode of Straight Talk. I am Komfie Manalo. Today we will be discussing about open finance. What is open finance and how will it impact the way we live? In simple terms, open finance is the next step in open banking journey. With open finance, financial data such as mortgages, savings, pensions, insurance, and consumer credit, basically everything that will provide you your financial footprint, could be opened up to trusted third-party APIs, if you agree only. Open banking already allows regulated websites and apps to access transactions, data from bank accounts, and payment services so that we can move, manage, and make more of your money. In traditional banking services, assets and liabilities determine creditworthiness. In this instance, open banking is great for verifying checking account balance history, account tenure, and deposits. The same can be said for credit cards. Where open banking falls short is with things like auto loans, mortgages, and other finance-related products. With open finance, all the financial services data that you permission would be securely delivered to the mortgage lender with your consent via an API. So how will open finance help marginalized communities like the MSMEs, the SMEs? So open banking only works when someone is actively using their account with the bank. The ability to securely provision access to utility providers, telecom companies, and payroll providers to verify payment history, employment, and pay is crucial to securing access to housing funds and affordable credit. Today, a person with no active bank accounts would be considered outside the financial system and therefore would struggle to access these options. Open finance eliminates these issues further. The ability to access payment history with prior landlords would allow for more efficient, transparent, and equitable rental decisions. To learn more about open finance and how will it directly impact the way we conduct business and our daily lives, we are honored to have Ms. Ida Tiongson, the chairman of the board of Pru Life UK, to discuss more about open finance. Welcome to Daily Tribune's Straight Talk, Ms. Ida.
Thank you. Thank you, Komfie. It's a pleasure to be here. And incidentally, one of the hats that I'm wearing, I'm also with the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas Open Finance Oversight Committee. So this is actually my world now, which is into the open finance.
This is actually your field of expertise now.
Yes.
And thank you very much for having us, for joining us today. Thank you very much for taking your time to be with us today. So let's fire up the question. I've already made a short description of open finance, but of course, being the expert and being the with the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas and about open finance. So, what is open finance, and is this the evolution in banking?
Okay. Well, in general, open finance is giving authority or access to your financial banking services, not just banking, but anything to do with the finance. In fact, if I may, I actually have a slide on this, and there's a quotation about what it is per Bangko Sentral. And there are 2 points that I want to raise. One is it does empower customers by giving them better control over the personal and financial data, catalyzing the development of products and services that are responsive to their needs. I know it's kind of highfalutin. I will explain that in a minute. And the other point under the BSP circular is open finance framework espouses consent-driven data portability and interoperability and collaborative partnerships among financial institutions, leveraging on permissioned access customer information. Again, sounds highfalutin. Thank you for this particular slide. This man, I'm going to call him Juan. What has he got to do with open finance? When sinabing consent-driven, for argument's sake, he has a record with GCash, and he has constantly been using GCash. He would now be able to give consent to PNB, to OF Bank, to Alliance, and Pru Life for that matter, to provide them his financial information and therefore be able to have a good credit score that would qualify. In short, record from one institution can be used by another institution to complete his credit score and knowing his financial capability. And that is a world-changing phase of the future of finance is where we're going into.
Yeah, actually, I have two issues there. One, um, the credit history or financial history or financial or digital footprint, because traditionally if you're like the man that you mentioned, Juan, that we use as an example, he doesn't have any bank account, but he uses e-wallets regularly. So he in using those e-wallets, he's able to establish some digital footprint, but he has no digital records or financial records to establish financial institutions like banks. So that prevents him from accessing financial windows, right?
Yeah, that's actually the point.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then the second issue that I have is the data privacy. So we know that data is the most valuable commodity now. Everybody is and we provide data almost every day. Like
Yes.
when we open social media, we fill up forms. Those are data that are now being used by this camera. So how do you reconcile data privacy with providing
Yeah.
data or access to your data to third party services through open finance, and of course, how will that benefit one
Yes.
to gain financial access to traditional financial institutions?
Yes, yes. I'm excited to answer that question. It's actually the heart of all of this when we're talking about the data privacy and all of this interconnection and the use of the data. May I have that slide back again with Juan? Today, Juan, can I have a slide without yeah, that one. Juan, Juan, a farmer, and this is reality of it,
Yeah.
would find that he will get a check kasi someone will purchase his produce, yung kanya, for argument's sake, rice, and that check, and this is reality, no? He will walk 2 hours to go to a bank. And from that, he gets cash because he doesn't have a bank account. And from there, he looks physically for another supplier or try to haggle. And with that, still, Juan does not have a bank account. So back to your question. It's okay to drop that slide. So back to your question. What's it to do with Juan? What about the data privacy? Back to Juan. One, to date, as long as you have one identification, one government issued ID, you can now open a bank account or a wallet. We'll pause for the credit scoring at the moment. And with having that wallet, GCash, Paymaya, it could be any of the digital banks. And by the way, with the banks, pwede ng one identification. First problem, identification. How can Juan open an account? And this is where the advent of the national ID is helping out. Eventually, with the national ID, when that evolves, kasi some of our kababayan, they don't even have birth certificate. We'll tackle that EKYC problem at that particular time. But assuming he's able to open, and I would say the easiest would be the Paymaya and GCash. Able to open, able to transact, able to send money, but of course it's limited at this point, 50,000 per day. If one will get a couple of 100,000 in his GCash and able to continuously transacting, nagkakaroon na yun ng record, behavioral record. Further, if one pays his bills using his digital wallet, he's able to now create a record. Now, what's that got to do with open finance? Eventually, under the open finance, all of this will be interconnected, and one's record with one institution can be opened up by another institution by his consent. Yung consent niya could be limited consent. It could be, hey, I'm only giving my personal data. Or it could be an extensive consent. I want to give everything, including my record, how I'm paying, and if he's able to pay his loans or on time and his bills within a certain period of time, he's able to get a good credit score. And so where's data privacy? According to the data privacy, you cannot just, one institution cannot just extract, especially sensitive data. And this is where who holds the data. They hold the data, but it's my data. It's Juan's data. So si Juan ang magsasabi will now give permission to have his data used by another institution. And therefore, Juan, even without having a bank account or zero record, whether it's insurance, whether it's bank, he would now be able to advise that institution that, this is my data. Will you provide your products and services to me? And they will assess that. That's the beauty of it.
So this, because of open finance, the control or the management of the data remains or stays with the with one.
Exactly.
And you mentioned this benefits of open finance, that it allows ordinary one to have financial access, financial window. So how will this impact
Yeah.
his life as an ordinary person, and how will this impact Juan to upscale his
Nice.
operation
Okay.
or become a landlord or a entrepreneur?
Okay. First, I wanna cite an example, no, and this is a live example. I have two assistants. One wants to get paid cash. The other one allowed to have yung pay niya paid to her account. I'm actually talking about Yaya. So, and just to advise you that it can expand further into whatever kind of walks of life. So, one in cash, one into an account. That one into an account, and this is a sample of it. The one that's getting cash, nag-ipon, bought a cell phone. The other one that opened a wallet, within 6 months got a credit card. Within less than a couple of years, was able to borrow 400,000, was able to purchase a land for the family, and they're now doing small-scale farming. Can you imagine? So what's that got to do with one? Si Juan, ang dami natin, 70%, and now actually reduced about 65% of the Filipinos, no bank accounts.
Yeah.
And the main problem when you're trying to scale up is you don't have enough money. So how can you borrow when you don't have a credit score? And the banks will be looking for it, financial institutions. And this is where I'm advising absolutely everyone, whether it's a digital bank or a digital wallet, GCash, Paymaya, open yun na and do transact, because you can now slowly build record, and that record is very important. If you continuous, and this is a live example, if you continuously using the GCash kahit na maliit yung balance mo doon, you'd be able to actually get a small loan just like that with less than a couple of minutes. They credit it to you.
So I want to expound on the use case that you mentioned.
Yes.
Sa Yaya, the one who opted to receive her payment through GCash.
Yes.
So I'm sure tinulungan mo yun kung paano i-manage yung kanyang pera.
Let me
Ano yung
pause.
ginawa? Ano yung ginawa?
That was 3 years ago. Hindi pa masyadong usong GCash dyan. The other Yaya only opted to open a wallet only June of last year, but already getting good credit record. So getting back to your question.
How was he able to get such a good credit score?
Yeah.
And siguro 400,000 peso loan.
Imagine that. Okay. Well, first is continuously all the pay I credit to her account. And she made that, parang she started doing paperless transaction, paper light transaction by all her bills. Kahit na yung pang-skwela, pang-electricity niya sa bahay nila, and she was actually doing that. And if she gets bonus, she gets it credited there. Whatever ipon she has. So she puts everything there that iba na ngayon ang credit score. The credit score is now behavioral. It's a combination of behavioral and at the same time how in a typical credit score, it's how long have you been employed, kung may bahay ka, Have you had a loan before? Do you have deposits? Do you have collateral? Those are the typical credit score. Now, the credit score has shifted in the fintech world dramatically into behavioral. Are you actually paying your bills on time? Are you savings? Are you paying your loans on time? See, what she did is borrowed a small loan and paid it out. Tumaas ngayon ang credit score niya. Paying the bills on time, tumaas na naman ang credit score niya. And getting a credit card and using the credit card properly, taas na naman ang score niya. With that score, able to get even a bigger loan. And this is, mind you, collateral free. So for Juan, if able to build that, may 200,000 si Juan. So if you're able to actually keep banking that in, I will not be surprised that one would be able to get 1 million in terms of financial loan with the institution that he's banking at the moment.
Straight Talk with the Daily Tribune. And we still have Miss Ida Tiongson of Pru Life. And ang dami mo kasing hats, hindi ko kabisado mga matandaan lahat. Of course, I know that she's with BSP,
Open Finance.
Open Finance
Oversight Committee.
Oversight Committee. And kanina before we took a break, we were discussing about the behavioral
Yes.
trend ngayon ng to establish credit score. So how
Yeah,
how is this?
I want to give a hint to everyone how to get better credit score. So credit score is divided into different categories. One is the behavioral, and the other one is, of course, the typical. If you own a property, if you employed, yung mga traditional ones. But it's shifting more bigger percentage or bigger weight into behavioral. Now, what does that mean? If you put in, let's say, for argument's sake, 10,000 per week into your account, or 10,000 per month, or 20,000 per month. That is part of behavioral. It's actually picking up that this person is able to put in that much money into this account, even if you zero balance that. So that's one of the behaviors. The other behavior, in short, the more that you're using your digital account, the better score that you will get. Another one, if you pay your bills on time. Now, if you pay it within 7 days, it's a lower score. If you are past due for 30 days, that's not a very good score. So please do pay your bills on time. The other one is a credit card, the use of your credit card, and also paying that on time. That gives you a good credit score. Having a loan and paying the loan either on time or advance, that provides you a good credit score. Putting money in investments, that provides you a good credit score. So at the moment, the credit score is your behavior in your finances. So eventually, that may include even the way you shop.
Yeah.
But I'm going to pause on that one. So that's why it's important to have a wallet or a digital account. And when you do that, make it active for you to be able to pick up, pay your bills there, have your investments there, and that sort of thing. Para ma-pick up lahat yan.
Sorry, if I want to dwell on these e-wallets, kasi, di ba,
Yes.
a big number, before the pandemic, 70% of the adult Filipino have no bank account. Ngayon, 65 na lang. Pero there are some data that I've read na mas mababa pa eh, nasa 52% na yata. Anyways, so, but everybody's using e-wallet now, di ba? Even yung magkataho, even yung, yeah, I was surprised na you can actually transact using GCash or any e-wallet na ang transaction involvement na is 40 pesos, 30 pesos.
Yeah.
So ganun, no? But then, I want to dwell on this e-wallet so we can maximize its use through open finance. Nabanggit mo kayo na before we took a break na there are ways to maximize its use, like if you have a small money there, it's not earning any interest, but you can link it to investments.
Yes.
So how do you do that? So
Okay.
you can mention, of course, yung Pru Life na rin na
All right.
products.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for this particular slide. No, in the open banking, it's only the banks. Under the open finance, you have investment companies, you have insurance companies, and you have all of that. There are several APIs or apps like GCash. You have PayMaya, you have Maya Bank, you have Union Bank, among others, that is practically doing the quasi-open finance. What does that mean? You go to their platform and you can easily transfer already. So you have a little funds from one account, as little as 1,000 pesos, for argument's sake. You can transfer that to another platform that I sit in the board. It's called Sidin Technologies. Or if you have a bigger funds, you may wish to transfer it to like Pru Life investment link accounts. You can already do that in either the GCash platform, or you can do it in the PayMaya, or you can do it in Union Bank. These are available already. And because you're doing it digitally, it picks up. It's part of the behavior in terms of, so hindi lang siya loans, it's also investment, it's also paying. It's but at the moment, it's kanya-kanya. It's a Union Bank, it's Maya, and so on. Eventually, under the open finance, it's all going to be lumped in one, where your access is lack of a word, endless financial products and services. So one can pick, oh, the lowest loan is this. I'm going to avail in this particular institution. Or one can say, oh, the best interest rate for investment is this. Oh, I can avail this. I didn't even know that Pru Life has this. Or I didn't even know that Tonic Bank has this. So imagine one having all these products and services that he would be able to now access. And that's positive for one.
So we've been discussing about the benefits of open finance for individuals, for ordinary one. Now let's discuss the benefits of open finance for the SMEs or the small medium enterprises. So how can open finance scale up the operations of these MSMEs and even rehabilitate an ailing one?
Yeah, good question. Let's go statistics first, no? In the Philippines, it's some quote 99, some quote 97. I believe it's 97. 97% of the businesses are micro, small, medium enterprises. Can you imagine the difficulty in the last couple of years? And 70% of the 97%, according to statistics, main problem, lacking financing, especially working capital now. So how can this open finance help the micro, small, medium enterprises? Of course, we are still in the midst of doing pilot on the open finance, and I hope that can be implemented soon. The positivity in having the open finance for businesses is they would, again, similar to one, be able to access. Now, if they had, in spite of the difficulty, they're still continuing to pay on time, especially the bills. The market is picking that up. And if they would be able to prove that there's future income that can help them out, you have wide variety of institutions. You have institutions that are strict, institutions that are a little bit more lenient under the open finance. You have a choice now. Oh, I could go through sit-in. They provide working capital financing. So you would be able to access there. And you know who actually funds, assuming that you go into the sit-in platform through the open finance? It's people like you, Comfy. If you have as small as 1,000 pesos, you can put in and invest, and that can be pulled. It's called crowdfunding, and that can fund a small to micro medium enterprise, help them survive. Of course, you're going to say, well, what about the credit worthiness? And this is where the AI-driven platform helps you, tells you this particular ABC business or the sole prop has got a good behavioral credit scoring, and therefore we feel that you may want to invest. So you, Comfy, it's your choice. You may want to invest your money there. Example, you have 100,000 as an investor. You can pick 10. Like the 10,000 mo, so you can spread the risk. Yeah. So again, under the open finance, it's practically limitless when it comes to the options that you have. You can go and get a home credit. You can go get investment in Atram. These are fintech companies, by the way. There are 216 fintech companies. There are digital banks. There are 6 digital banks. If you want to be a little bit more, parang less risk, then you can go traditional banks. So again, it's all about having the access and available products and services at your fingertips.
You sit in the BSP's Open Finance Oversight Committee. So, so that's basically a regulatory function. So, what regulatory intervention, if there are any, do you suggest to further enhance the adoption of open finance in the country?
Okay. Just like what did GCash do in the beginning? They got a lot of merchants. So they're able to, as a consumer, you'd be able to access a lot. So under the open finance, what we're trying to do is get more establishments in. I think I have a slide in terms of the it's called the financial sector landscape. There are couple of hundred when it comes to the banks, but if you look at the financial sector landscape, that's about 216,000. 216,000 establishments that can be connected. So we're hoping that all of these establishments, and I believe it will, because if you're not part of it, you're going to miss out. So if you are in that space, all these establishments under the open finance, you can be accessible to one and vice versa. If you're not there, you may be left out. So all these establishments, so how do we get a buy-in? This is where we're still establishing a framework. And you did mention about the level of consent, the level of privacy. There are legalities there. There are rules and regulations that we have to contend with. We need to pilot and we need to double check how this can be done. Are the establishments even API ready or digital ready? for them to be able to be part of the platform. So those are the things we need to contend with. In short, we need all of these establishments, or at least a majority of them, and I believe they will be, in the open finance, so that Juan or you, Comfy, would be able to access all of this.
This discussion about open finance is very exciting, but we will have to take a short break. And after the short break, we will be back and talk more about what Pru Life is offering for us consumers. We will be back.
Fun and inspiring na kwentuhan? Sagot na yan ang programang Spotlight ng Daily Tribune. Makipagkwentuhan at kilalanin ng iba't ibang personalidad na kilala sa kani-kanilang larangan. Manood at makinig sa mga inspiring stories na kanilang ibabahagi kasama si Nina Ventura. Be ready ng mamangha at matuwa every Thursday alas 2 ng hapon dito lang sa Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now on YouTube. Magandang araw mga katribu! Narito na ang mga makakasama nyo tuwing umaga sa programang Gising Na. Roy Pelovelo, Komfie Manalo, Vernon Velasco, Kim Sancha at Jerk Balagtas. Abangan ang programang Gising Na sa Facebook page ng Daily Tribune.
Ilabas na ang mainit na kape at samahan kami sa inyong pag-almusal, mga katribo.
Sama-sama natin alamin ang mga natatagong istorya sa mga latest na kaganapan sa loob at labas ng bansa.
Maaari niyo rin ibahagi sa amin ang inyong opinion via Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now sa YouTube.
Makichika na rin sa latest showbiz happenings, mga katribo.
Kaya naman, magsama-sama po tayo sa
Gising na!
Be updated sa news and happenings katribu. Hatid ng Daily Tribune sa inyo ang mga balitang napapanahon sa loob at labas ng bansa. Kami na ang bahala sa paghahatid sa inyo ng mga latest and reliable news. We got you covered sa programang Tribune News on Q. Mapapanood mula umaga hanggang gabi, Lunes hanggang Biyernes sa Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now on YouTube.
Welcome back to Straight Talk. We are still with Miss Ida Tiongson, the man and the woman with the many hats in fintech. Before we took a break, we were talking about open finance, its benefits, its advantages to the ordinary one, and of course the SMEs. But in this segment, we will be deviating from that topic, and we will be focusing on what Pru Life is offering. So, Miss Ida, what can we expect from what is Pru Life offering now?
Okay, well, I wanna. You know what's important now. It's not what Pru Life is offering, but what the market needs.
Mm-hmm.
We've been in the pandemic for the last couple of years, no, and what we in Pru Life, we want Filipinos. We want to help the Filipinos to get the most out of life.
Mm-hmm.
And we're looking at our purpose and responsibility as you can see in the slide over here. And with that, what's the problem of Filipinos when it comes to insurance?
Mm-hmm.
See, 2.3 pa lang.
Yeah.
I think I have that slide, the next slide. 2.3.
Penetration,
Imagine
no?
the insurance penetration, 2.3% only.
Mm-hmm.
And in the last couple of years, a lot of the ones who suffered, especially the COVID or passed away because of some illness, critical illness, biglang bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
People think, oh, I'm not going to use the insurance. But when they encounter this, then they think, oh, I should have had that insurance. Okay, so back to, I want to talk about the financial inclusion, if we can drop this slide for the moment. Okay, with the financial inclusion, first is what does that mean and what it means to insurance muna, no? Financial inclusion means access. It's okay not to show the slide yet. It means access to, and access, by the way, are three things. Mismong physical access to products and services, no discrimination, and being able to have that liberty of choosing. So with that, again, back to Juan, how can one get an insurance? Ang mahal ng premium. We have, it's like sachet or pocket insurance, yung maliliit ba, instead of having a premium na malaki, we now packaged it specific. For example, you have a history of your family having heart illness or having breast cancer, or uso ang dengue in your area, may dalawa nang namatay, you can get less than 500 pesos a year. You can, so that, and that is financial inclusion. We're talking about affordability. And accessibility. You can download our Pulse app, and from there you can even improve your lifestyle. Yung food intake mo, libre yun, mga yun, those information. And you can not just invest, but get insurance for your family, insurance for your kasambahay, to be able to, para hindi naman, or practically everyone, kahit na maliit lang, start small and try this sachet type insurance, because it can help you. Example lang, for 150 pesos, you can get like a dengue insurance, and pag na-hospital ka, you get 10,000. And if someone dies from that, you get 100,000. Because it's so difficult and expensive when you go to hospital. Maraming na na-bankrupt, marami pang nababankrupt. So we have to be conscious that insurance really is important.
Let me clarify. Actually, I want to raise two things about the low penetration of the insurance industry sa Pilipinas. Like you mentioned, 2.3% lang ang insurance penetration. One is because you mentioned financial inclusion or finance. Does it mean that we have to raise the financial literacy of the Filipino first so that they'll have better appreciation of the benefits of insurance? Second, yung affordability. Most Filipinos shy away from insurance because they think of it as an expense.
Yes.
So how do you go about these challenges?
Yes. And this is where, the best way to learn is to do it yourself and try it. Later on, if I can show how to download the Pulse app, may I show that now? Although I have a thank you there. Further down, the other slide where I have a QR. The other one, I have a QR there. I think it's the last slide that I have. I know I got a thank you there. Sorry about that. You can with your phone, you can already download by checking that out in the Pulse app, and from there you can check out different types of insurance products. Kasi ang dami, no? Whether it's an investment one or a pocket-size insurance. May I have that slide where it's that different types of insurance that we have, the pocket-size ones, or the sachet, this one. So you can have, for as low as 175 pesos or approximately 300 a year, you can have a breast cancer insurance. So
it's for a year.
It's a yearly thing, and at least it will help you. If you get hospitalized, it will cover you. At least it will subsidize a little bit of it. And similarly with dengue. So these are critical illness insurances which we have bite-sized products, making it affordable to the general public. So hindi yan yung ang lalaki ng mga premium. You can even package it yourself. You can have a 3-in-1, and that would be a lower premium rather than tagi-isa. Yeah.
So you can have a dengue insurance or or a heart illness insurance or
Yes,
cancer
dengue,
insurance.
breast. Yeah, we call them critical illness insurance. The younger you are, especially those ones below 21, ang dami insurance available for you guys, and you are already building your credit worthiness by having that as well.
We've been hearing a lot about this embedded insurance lately, and actually, when you pay bills, you actually there's actually an embedded insurance in
Right.
it. So, but recently you also partnered with Shopee. You
Yes.
mentioned about the one of your sachet or bite-sized product, dengue. Is this bite-sized products or bite-sized insurance products that you are offering are already a part, or is it included in any of embedded insurance products that you have, or do you even offer embedded insurance? Do you have a partnership with that?
Okay. There's two things in terms of embedded insurance. We are life in Pru Life. There are different types of insurances. One is non-life, and there's mutual funds, there's life. So for the life, yes, the embedded insurance could be part of if you die in an accident in the airplane, you may wish to have an insurance on that one too. So that can be embedded in a certain product.
Yeah.
So we do collaboration. So with Shopee, it's more accessibility. So insurance, financial inclusion are three things. I'm going to repeat that again: accessibility, affordability, and non-discriminatory. So when it comes to accessibility, this is where we partner with anyone. We do collaborations with practically anyone, and it's harmonious. So you can be part of us, we can be part of you, and the main point here is it's similar to a baby open finance where there's accessibility. So there's Shopee, there's GCash. We're talking to Union Bank, we're talking to a lot of the fintechs for them to be able to access Pru Life. If not, you can do it yourself, download Pulse, and you can access it directly. So down to the affordability, I did mention different types of insurance. It could be bite size. For the others, it could be investments. Again, we're talking about accessibility for you to be able to get that.
Miss Ida, Pru Life retained its number one spot as the top insurance provider in terms of earnings. How were you able to achieve that?
Okay, let me qualify, no, because happy to say that what we have here in the International Insurance Awards, we did bag second year in a row, back to back, having this the life insurance of the year. And this is basically because of the innovation and the products and services that we have. Happy to say that as far as Pru Life is concerned, we are definitely accessible, end to end. We are digital ready. We are ready for the open finance. And happy to say that the appreciation of our products and services been there, and humbly proud that Pru Life got that. For the insurance commission recognition, we are recognized under the new business premium. So there's a lot of categories. We're number one under the new business. In the last couple of years, kasi, we're happy to say that because we are digitally ready, the workforce and the agents are more of the younger generation. Ang bilis mag-pick up, by the use of the cell phone, they'll be able to still access the clients. Ayan, tuloy, we were able to pick up a lot of new business. But let's be fair, because in the insurance, Sun Life still remains to be number one as far as the life premium. AXA is also on top on that one. We're actually third on that one. For non-life, there's Malayan, which is actually leading the pack in terms of the premium. For net worth total assets, there's AIA and Sun Life, and for non-life, there's Pioneer Insurance. So the top 10 insurance as listed by the insurance company, insurance commission, if people are looking at, risky ba yan, then you may wish to look into the top 10. These are accessible in the insurance commission website. we are normally ranking between number 1 to number 2, number 3, number 4, up to number 5 in terms of different categories. But as far as the new business concerned, as far as the net premium written is concerned, happy to say that we are leading that particular segment.
Yeah, you mentioned that you were Pru Life is leading in the new business segment and of course innovation, and you've introduced a lot of these bite-size products, and you also call them sachet products. So, what other innovations are we expecting, or are we expecting from Pru Life?
Yes. We just launched the family love.
Mhm.
You know, one of the problems in I don't want to get misquoted, no. Example, the LGBT. You have a partner, and you want to get insurance for your partner, and some would reject that.
Yeah.
We have this package called Family Love. In fact, it's being endorsed by Ben and Ben, and people think it's a Ben and Ben concert. But the point there is, we want to catch the audience to say that we have Fam Love. One premium can be used up to 4. So it could be your parents, your anak, it could be your partner, it could be your friend. By having just one premium. Again, that's an innovative product that we just recently launched.
These are very interesting topics and these very interesting innovations coming from the insurance sector. But Straight Talk will take a short break, and when we return, we will talk more about Pru Life. Stay tuned.
Magandang araw mga katribo! Narito na ang mga makakasama nyo tuwing umaga sa programang Gising Na. Roy Pelovelo, Komfie Manalo, Vernon Velasco, Kim Sancha at Jerk Balagtas. Abangan ang programang Gising Na sa Facebook page ng Daily Tribune.
Ilabas na ang mainit na kape at samahan kami sa inyong pag-almusal, mga katribo.
Sama-sama natin alamin ang mga natatagong istorya sa mga latest na kaganapan sa loob at labas ng bansa.
Maaari niyo rin ibahagi sa amin ang inyong opinion via Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now sa YouTube.
Makichika na rin sa latest showbiz happenings, mga katribo.
Kaya naman, magsama-sama po tayo sa
Gising na!
Fun and inspiring na kwentuhan? Sagot na yan ang programang Spotlight ng Daily Tribune. Makipagkwentuhan at kilalanin ng iba't ibang personalidad na kilala sa kani-kanilang larangan. Manood at makinig sa mga inspiring stories na kanilang ibabahagi kasama si Nina Ventura. Be ready ng mamangha at matuwa every Thursday alas 2 ng hapon dito lang sa Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now on YouTube. Be updated sa news and happenings katribu. Hatid ng Daily Tribune sa inyo ang mga balitang napapanahon sa loob at labas ng bansa. Kami na ang bahala sa paghahatid sa inyo ng mga latest and reliable news. We got you covered sa programang Tribune News on Q. Mapapanood mula umaga hanggang gabi, Lunes hanggang Biyernes sa Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now on YouTube.
And welcome back to Straight Talk. And still with us is Miss Ida Tiongson. Alam mo, dami-dami na pag-usapan. No? Kanina we talked about open finance and its benefits to the ordinary one. And meron siyang binanggit na actual use case, yung kanyang one of her yaya na who actually financially independent na ngayon siguro, no? She's not working anymore for you.
Oh, she actually still is. But at least she's able to provide business sa pamilya niya, sa probinsya na may small farming sila doon, na kumikita na.
Actually, yun ang pangarap kong retirement na farm life. Anyways, and then we also discussed about Pru Life and how the insurance company, the insurance industry is evolving to meet the demand or the need of the market doon, diba? Before we think of insurance, ang tagi natin expense yan eh. And then we only think of life and non-life, lalo pag life napakagastos niya na you have to die pa to benefit from it, yung mga iiwanan mo yung mga pero ngayon mayroon mga bite-sized products, mayroon na mga sachet products that you can enjoy or you can have the benefit kung magkasakit ka, diba? And those are not very affordable. 175 pesos yung pinakamababang premium. Premium ba tawag?
Yeah,
yun?
175 or 150 for 6 months, or 300 for about a year. Less than 500 pesos for about a year for the bite-sized ones. Yes.
So, Ma'am Ida, I'll give you the floor to discuss, to tell our public or our viewers and our readers na rin, about open finance, or what, why do we have to embrace insurance now?
Okay. All right. As far as the insurance is concerned, it's not just about the credit score, but more so because it gives you that level of comfort. Lalo na kung nawala ka, paano na yung pamilya mo? Yeah, the burden that's transferred. Itong the last couple of years, I think why more people got into the life insurance and why our bite-sized products became popular, mas naging conscious yung mga tao, uy, nako, ang daling magkasakit. Mas health conscious tayo ngayon eh. In Pru Life, in the Pulse app, by the way, libre to download, we don't really push for go insurance. We want you to have the best out of life. So we want you can see there yung ano yung mga healthy foods na kakainin, ano yung mga exercise. In fact, you can even have a it's kind of like an avatar, but it shows on your build and where you can improve in terms of your fitness level. You can even track down your running. So we're talking about not just pure insurance, but what we're trying to do is help you, and with that, have a backing. We're even giving a lot of lectures, free lectures, how to make investments, how to improve the lifestyle, from the mental health and so on. So we're actually giving that. Do download the Pulse app. Okay, so moving forward, where is Pru Life heading? We are embracing open finance. Happy to say that the Insurance Commission is also building up a team for the open finance, because we want to be ready when the BSP's open finance is implemented. I'm part, of course, of the BSP one, and we are doing some pilots. We are having also not concerns, but hurdles that we have to address, such as you said, the privacy, the regulations. But we are very positive that things will move on, because at the end of the day, there's really only one thing in mind: what is best for our people, what's our purpose, and how we can give them the best products and services. But so that having that in mind, sa mga institutions, we cannot be selfish in terms of our information. We just have to ensure that when we're providing information, that person is that person, di ba? It's not fraudulently done. So those are the things that we have to contend with.
So, thank you very much, Miss Ida Tiongson. Thank you for joining us here again. And of course, you are always welcome to be our guest again.
Thank you. Komfie, may I plug?
Of course.
You know, for those ones that are interested to study more, there is a Philippine FinTech Festival that's happening middle of October. There's also the Philippine Blockchain Week that's happening November 29 up to December 2 or December 4. That's going to be at Marriott. And for those ones that would like a little bit more extensive, there's Singapore FinTech Festival happening end of November. And so we hope people will join that. You can join that virtually, while the Philippine FinTech Festival and the blockchain, you can join that face-to-face. Why do I say that? Because I want to lure everyone to learn more about fintech products and services, and how this open finance and how the blockchain's working, and how these are all interconnected.
Thank you very much again, Miss Ida. Thank you very much sa mga katribo. So today we've learned about how we can leverage technology to upscale our businesses, and not just our business, but ourselves as well. So mga katribo, thank you for tuning in. Watch Straight Talk live every Tuesday at 10 a.m. on Daily Tribune's Facebook page, and Tribune now on YouTube. Once again, I am Komfie Manalo, and this has been Straight Talk.
would like to thank the following: Araneta, Pag-ibig, SM Supermall, Veteran, Divina Law Offices, ICTSI, Xlog, Globe, Kia, PLDT, Cherry, Tanawan, Prime Homes, RLC, Pure Gold, Meralco, and SM Retail.